Right friends, welcome back to News Analysis and Features. We are discussing important events of 2015. This is part 2 of national events. BPI and motor vehicle agreement was signed at Thimphu, and because of which once this is implemented, you will have seamless travel of persons and services across 4 nations of Bhutan, Bangladesh, India and Nepal. In principle, approval was given for one rank, one pension, and Narasimha Reddy Commission was appointed to look into the nitty-gritty of implementing this scheme, and that will become reality shortly. Government announced housing for all by 2022. It requires 2 crore houses in urban areas alone. Government passed black money, undisclosed foreign income and assets imposition of tax bill 2015, and it became an act on 26th May 2015. And if the government finds undisclosed income abroad, they have to pay tax and penalties put together up to 120%. Not only that, 10 years of imprisonment will also be there. Right, look into the next one. India along with Pakistan will get membership status in Shanghai Cooperation Organization. Shanghai Cooperation Organization is the organization of 6 countries, primarily of China and Russia, with 4 countries of Central Asia, and India and Pakistan will become full-fledged members shortly. Vyapam scam created a lot of controversy across the country, and it dragged down the image of Madhya Pradesh Chief Minister to some extent. Skill India program was launched to train 40 crore youth by 2022. World Bank praised Mahatma Gandhi Narega as the largest public works program in the world, but in recent times, government is not giving that much emphasis to Mahatma Gandhi Narega. Deen Dayal Upadhyay Gram Jyoti Yojana was launched by the Prime Minister. This is with a view to separate agriculture feeders and domestic feeders in rural areas so as to give 24/7 power supply in rural areas. APJ Abdul Kalam, President of the country from 2002 to 2007, missile man, more than that, a perfect human being, passed away at Shillong. Rupees 20,000 crore National Investment and Infrastructure Fund will be commissioned shortly, as announced in Union Budget 2015-16. This will give impetus or boost to infrastructure sector. Government stated it will be commissioned by the end of January 2016. Government signed peace accord with NSCN, Isaimuva faction, but the important faction was not taken on board, that is Kaplang faction. Prime Minister announced Startup India and Stand Up India, and that is going to be commissioned on 16th January 2016. And the Prime Minister stated each bank should nurture one entrepreneur either from SC or ST and one from women category. That is the main theme of the Prime Minister. During his visit to United Arab Emirates, the Prime Minister visited Masdar city, a planned city with clean energy. Indradhanush was launched, which is a 7-point action plan to improve the health of public sector banks. This assumed significance in view of the increased non-performing assets of public sector banks. At the same time, the centre has also given rupees 70,000 crores for capital infusion to increase the capital base of public sector banks. And this 70,000 crores will be spread over a period of 4 years. RBI gave in principle approval for payment banks and small finance banks. And this is for the first time RBI has given licenses for differentiated banks. And please don't forget, State Bank of India, ICICI Bank, Like that, all the existing banks are universal banks, but this is a different concept, and these payment banks and small finance banks will look at particular sectors. That's why they are called differentiated banks. Rupees 10,000 crore Smile is SIDBI Make in India loan for enterprises, and rupees 2,000 crore India Aspiration Fund basically for startups were launched. Two new universal banks came up in 2015, Bandhan Bank with headquarters at Kolkata and IDFC Bank with headquarters at Mumbai. SBI and ICICI Bank are designated as the domestic systemically important banks. That means they are too big to fail. This is the global concept. Globally, 30 banks are designated as the global systemically important banks, and in India, 2 banks were nominated, that State Bank of India and ICICI Bank, as domestic systemically important banks. They have to maintain little higher capital base or capital adequacy ratio. AP Shah panel categorically stated MAT, that is minimum alternate tax, will not be applicable for foreign portfolio investors because they have no permanent establishment in our country. Government cleared spectrum trading and spectrum sharing. 2 telecom companies can share the spectrum. 2 telecom companies can trade in spectrum. That is basically with a view to reduce call drops. Another decision taken by the government is government allowed telecom towers or mobile towers over government buildings. West Bengal government declassified Netaji files after 70 years. And Indian government will declassify the files on 23rd January 2016, which is the birth anniversary of Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose. For the first time, assessment of state implementation of business reforms for states was formulated with the help of World Bank, and for the first time, rankings were given to states with regard to ease of doing business, and Gujarat came first with Andhra Pradesh second. First step in implementation of interlinking of rivers was taken with interlinking of Godavari and Krishna rivers through Pattisima project in Andhra Pradesh. India submitted INDCs, intended nationally determined contributions, and pledged to cut carbon emissions intensity by 33% to 35% by 2030 from 2005 levels per unit of GDP. The government announced midday meal rules 2015, which indicates certain nutritional requirements also. Government launched Neeranchal, aimed at increasing groundwater table, basically constructing check dams. The project cost is rupees 2,142 crores, out of which 50% will be funded by the World Bank. The Supreme Court stated that Aadhaar is not mandatory, but subsequently allowed Aadhaar for social welfare schemes of Mahatma Gandhi Narega, Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana, pension and provident fund schemes. Prime Minister laid foundation stone for Amaravati, new capital city of Andhra Pradesh on the banks of river Krishna. First bullet train project will come up between Mumbai and Ahmedabad, and Japan offered soft loan at 0.1% interest, 15 years moratorium, 50 years repayment period, and the first bullet train project will come up between Mumbai and Ahmedabad, and Japanese technology Shinkansen will be used. National Civil Aviation Policy 2015 was announced, and under National Civil Aviation Policy 2015, regional connectivity cess of 2% is planned, and this money will be used to connect the interiors of the country. Major changes were made in FDI policy with a view to increase the ease of doing business index, and 35 changes were made across 15 sectors, and the power to grant permission of FIPB for individual cases increased to rupees 5,000 crores from rupees 3,000 crores, and several liberal rules were announced in the modified FDI policy. 7th Pay Commission submitted its report. The pay and allowances will increase by 23.55%, and remember, these are applicable from 1st January 2016. Beijing and Delhi are in the news because of severe air pollution. Particulate matter 2.5 increased to 600 in Beijing and crossed 400 in Delhi. When the climate summit was going on at Paris, the capital cities of two most populous countries were reeling under air pollution. India and Pakistan will start a comprehensive bilateral dialogue, but shadowed by Pathankot terror incident. Procedure for allotment of marginal oil fields. There is a major policy shift. Previously, cost recovery model, it is shifted to revenue sharing model. Right friends, with this important national events concluded, and important international events will be discussed in the news analysis of 53rd week. And please don't forget, for 51st week, 52nd week and 53rd week, instead of actual news analysis, we are briefing about the important events that occurred in 2015, or you can say recapitulation of the events of 2015. Right friends, have a nice day. Thank you.